good God. Live streaming is on. Let's see
dear.
what happens, eh?
Absolutely. This is our first time.
This is our first time using Jitsi and live streaming, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
If anything at all.
Absolutely. So,
okay, here we are. We're live.
We're live.
So hi, folks. How are you? And if you're coming on and later, just say hi and where you're from, and we'll put the links up later in the post.
Absolutely. So
we thought we'd come on in and talk about the energy dumps. And are you having a shitty 2025,
yes,
or is it just some people?
Yeah. So we have you can't see it, but we've got little Gracie who's popped her head up between us, and she is just really, really. She's hugging us at the moment. It's again with the energy at the moment. We've noticed with our animals that things are they're really sensitive to it. They're sensitive to all the changes that are happening, whether good, bad, or indifferent. And that's one thing that we wanted to share and talk about today with the energy dumps. I call them energy dumps because I was saying to Heather today, earlier on today, that sometimes it feels like a tip truck comes and just goes, and it is a mess. There's just so much energy, so much stuff that I've got to work through. It feels like I'm climbing uphill through mud, mire, and bramble bushes, and it is hard yakka. It's just hard. And yet, even in that, there's times where it comes up again, and I get another dump of energy, and it's almost like that is a secondary wind. It's like a love wash. It's like something that is encouraging me to keep doing what I'm doing. So, this is why we've titled it Energy Dumps of 2025, and what are we doing with them? What are we doing with them? Because this is the year of self-mastery. 2025, the year of the snake, the Ouroboros, it is the year of the snake. So what I've discovered is that, first of all, we have the lessons. There are lessons that we've got going and happening in our lives, and we're working through them. And we've also got clearings.
I thought there was a difference between lessons and clearings.
Yep.
In a different way.
Yep. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Right. No, so a lesson is something that, it's like, okay, let me just reel back a little bit. Now, I'm having a bit of fun, because if you don't have fun humor, it's just going to be a little. But 2025, we were originally that the message came through that this was the year of self-mastery, and this was the year that we were going to either repeat things, or we were going to fulfill the lessons, fulfill the clearings, fulfill everything that we had set ourselves to do. Now, here's a question for all of you. How many of you said, this is my top life, or I'm not coming back, this is it, I'm not doing this again, I'm stop the planet, I want off, sort of thing. And you're not joking. It's not something that you are just tongue-in-cheek saying. This is something that you are actually fully committed to. And you want to make sure that energetically, that spiritually, that you have achieved everything, all the lessons that you were meant to do, whether it's this timeline or another timeline or anything like that. You're collapsing the timelines in, and you are fulfilling whatever lesson needs to be done. Then there's the clearings. The clearings are basically shit that's come up, blocks. It's energy stuff that's just plugged you up, the negative side. And we need to move that on out. We need to unplug all that so that the water of the spirit can come through. Now, that's the process. Excuse me, I'm just going to go and put the dogs outside. Do you want to pick up from that, sweetheart? I'm moving on that stuff.
It's raining here, and the dogs are like two kids. They just don't want to be outside at the moment. Okay, so so yeah, it's about discovering, I think, who we are as spiritual beings, but being able to access that through all the clearing and through all the different energy outfalls that are happening at the same time. And that can happen in multiple ways, of course, as Lou's alluded to. So it's been really challenging for us. And we're not going to pretend it's been super challenging for us. And, you know, there's a lot going on within the interface of people to people, or the outside world to the one man or woman, and also with one's own inner self balancing. And I just think that with energy dumps like this, the guys actually started calling it energy dumps quite a while back. And this year they've consistently been talking about it. And if you don't know who the guys are, that's our divine team that we work with, okay? And they've basically talked also about those of us who are really wanting to exodus. I'll probably jump the line here. We've written some notes, and who might be finding it a bit more challenging than others. Anyway, you can carry on from where you were.
Oh, right. Okay, so
Thanks for that.
No, that's all right. So, okay, so here it is in my mind. There's this energy dump truck. Okay, comes along, dumps the energy, just because I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel I wake up and I'm okay, I'm cool. It's like oh, it's gonna be a good day, and then I can hear it coming energetically, beep 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 beep, and it stops, and it's like the big tipper truck, and this energy just falls. It just wraps around me, and I'm like, oh God. So I have to then identify, is this an energy dump for me to work through stuff, to clear stuff, to work on my lessons, or is it? It's and as I said before, there are times where it is just an energy wash of pure love, of like the universe wrapping its arms around me and saying, you know, you're going to get through this. It doesn't matter. Yes, you've been through shit the last couple of days. There's been an ongoing impetus to move you forward. There is so much that's happening, but we just want to let you know right here, right now, it's okay. You're going to get through this. And so I yearn for those dump trucks. Okay. And so what I also have figured out for me is that in this energy shift, okay, there is an empowering, there is very much an empowering energy that allows me to move forward. Okay, because sometimes what happens is we go through energy and we don't recognize it. You know, we can be going day to day, and the person next to us is like stressing big time, sweat coming off them, energetically speaking, because they're really churning through the process. They're really applying everything, and we're walking through like da. And you know, we're just not sensitive to that particular change, that particular thing. So we have to look at this: is when we do tap into this energy, is it empowering us to change and to move forward, or is it unnoticeable? Are we not paying attention to it? Okay, because when we pay attention to the energy, and we actually sensitive to the fact that there is an energy shift in, it could be your home, it could be your work, it could be life in general, but it will affect other people differently. And as I work through things, I have to be alert to not only what's going on in my energy, but is the energy dump affecting Heather in a certain way? If it is, do I need to give her space? Do I need to say to her, sweetie, can I help you with anything? Or or is my responsibility to say, babe, I'm working through a whole lot of, you just give me space, please, because I can't deal with anything else. Because that's honest. And it's also, it empowers me, it empowers her to know that, hey, Lou's going through something, give her space. You know, and again, going back to the top life, how many of us have said, this is it? And we're collapsing the timelines. So when we collapse the timelines and we go, this is the last life I'm going to live, this is it. I am not coming back to this, the schoolyard. I've done the grades 1 through to whatever, 655,000. I am no longer coming back to the play yard. I'm not doing school anymore. I've learnt my lessons. What happens is universe, the divine creator goes, okay, hang on, wait a minute. We're just going to check the list here. Tick, 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 tick. Hang on, wait a minute. I see that there's item 22115.0 still has to be accomplished, and 225.621 needs to be accomplished. And then after that, we'll look again. Thank you, sweetheart. See you just now. And bingo.
But how do we know that it's even like that? I mean,
well, this is how it works in my energy and in my mind. It could be completely different for other people. But that's how
fair enough. We've all got our own take on this, haven't we?
Absolutely. But you see, okay, 2007, I was living through my life going, oh, it's cool. I'm just going to fit in here. I've moved to a new country. I'm doing this. Da, 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 da. Well, I moved to the new country in 2002, but new town, new whatever. And then I met Heather in 2008.
Don't blame me.
And she said, come, let me do some energy work on you. Well, my life's never been the same. And do I regret it? No. Okay. But that's after a wee while, I started to hear the phrase top life. I'm not coming back. No more reincarnation. And I'm going, okay, well, what is going on? What is all this about? And the more I asked my team and the more I asked otherwise beings, I suddenly realized I don't want to come back to this life anymore. So here I am, 2008. Pressure points would come up, but it was like one major one in a year and maybe two smaller ones. And now all of a sudden, fast forward to 2005, and I feel like I am every single day facing something.
Well, that's what I feel like too. It feels like it's a constant barrage of ever-changing energy. And it depends on your circumstances, what you've set up for yourself. I mean, if you're a hermit living in a cave, it may be easier because, because there's Lou's going to talk about triggers a little bit later. But so we're in the snake year, okay? We're in the Ouroboros, the year of the snake eating its own tail. So it's a wood snake, but it's the snake year. And we're seeing so much happening externally. But look, so, feel free to comment here when you come on and replay this, what you've been experiencing, if you agree, disagree, or any comments you'd like to make. Love to hear from you, what you're doing. And please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and like our channel and share it around, because we're going to be doing this on YouTube from now on. We've done a lot of Facebook stuff, live stuff. Now we're starting to move into the YouTube arena. So, we've only got a small channel at the moment. Let's pump it up to 1,000 and move on from there. And, and help us out with that. We'd appreciate that. So the symbol of, and those thumbs up, symbol of repeating, Ouroboros. Here we are. This is this year. And our true year really starts in March, but we won't get into the technicalities of that at the moment. The Ouroboros is often interpreted as a symbol for eternal cyclic renewal or a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The snake skin slowing. It's an old English word, which means that it's just schlocking. It's just moving, slowing. It's continually working. It's not a spello.
No.
Okay.
I cut and paste.
Okay. The snake skin sloughing symbolizes the transmigration of souls. The snake biting its own tail is a fertility symbol in some religions. The tail is a phallic symbol and the mouth is a yonic or womb-like symbol. Right. Just to let you know, this is not a porn channel. Also known as the oldest Taoist yin and yang symbol, due to it being portrayed as half black and white. So it's a repetitive cycle. It is a cycle. So what we were told or shown is, are we going to repeat the same cycles that we've repeated time and time again in this lifetime, maybe in other lifetimes experiences too, I don't know. And we went, oh, no, we don't want to do that. Well, I've been repeating my cycles. And it's just causing a whole lot of depression and confusion, okay? And I'm not the only one. I'm a mirror for a lot of people and vice versa. So it's like, that's it, done. can't do this anymore because I don't want to be re-experiencing all this again. I want to be able to release myself from this realm. And the ascension journey never went away. It became a bit of a dirty, guru-ized word, but it never went away. We are on this journey of spiritual ascension, of energy ascension, of being on a journey in the here and now, and working our way through multiple various experiences that we've chosen, believe it or not. Sometimes shit happens. We've had a little bit of that too, where shit just happens. You think, how did
that happen?
Did I create that? What was that about? But it's about taking self-responsibility. So 2025 is the year of self-mastery. So if you haven't seen it, go back and have a look at White Feather. No, was it Safida?
No, there was White Feather
and Safida.
And Safida's broken it down,
Yeah, they've all talking about is the year of self-mastery. And we knew 2025 was going to be some sort of really big decision point year because we were told about it probably in 2015, to be honest.
And White Feather actually did a big thing in 2019 as well, sweetie. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. 2019, which we published in 2020. So are we going to go through life repeating the processes we've learned, the lessons we've grown through, or are we going to stand and observe and let go? Simple as that. Will we keep repeating or move on to a new challenge and deal with that? Okay. Have you ever asked yourself how much is there to clear? What are you attracting to clear? Take it over to you.
She always leaves me with the hard questions. Well,
so the thing is, we don't, a lot of people might go, oh no, life's good, doesn't matter, we're all happy here. But there's some of us that don't have that because we've come to push the envelope. We've come to be the energy rebels.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just touch on that. It's just like if we can go back to that last point, is like, how much is there to clear, and and Heather sort of mentions like, what are we attracting, and if we marry that up with the ideal or the perception that we choose to make a choice not to come back, like it's like that's it. I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm not returning here. Then what happens is universe will work with us. Whether you see the creator with a big list or whatever, I don't know. But in my mind, that works for me. And it's like, because that way I can say, okay, when this comes up and I'm triggered, and I'm going to cover the triggers. I mean, we have to look at the fact that when we say to the universe, to the, some people call it the informed field, other people call it the spaces in between, the manifestation field around us. When we speak to it in truth, that this is what we're going to do, what it does is it goes, okay, and it reflects back to us everything that we need to correct, everything that we need to balance, everything that we need to put a full stop in so that it doesn't happen. I remember a time about a decade ago, people were going, cutting the cords so that whatever was going on in their life spiritually didn't carry on through their family lineage. They were cutting the lineage lines, the timelines. I even heard in the some of the religious groups, especially in the churches, people a teaching came up about cutting the bloodlines, etc., so that whatever was occurring in your current timeline did not repeat. If you were a woman, into the children that you gave birth to, or a man, the children that you sired. So there has generally been this move across the board in the consciousness of mankind to sever the past from the present so that the future can be a stronger place to be. Okay. And so that's across the board. It's not just in, the awakened sort of community. And what happens is when we make a decision like that, we're going to get triggered. We're going to get triggered big time. Why? Because if you look at it this way, if I take vinegar and I add it to bicarbonated soda, we're going to get a volcano, right? We're just going like this. And it doesn't matter how many times we do that, we're going to get the same result. Okay. If we keep doing that same result, that same trigger process, expecting something different, well, that's kind of insane because we know that's what's going to happen.
So triggers are coming from all sides at the moment.
Absolutely.
And if if doesn't, depending on your circumstances, but mixing with people and interrelating and conversations and community groups, and whether it's family, whether it's home, whether it's extended out from there, triggers will be coming in from all sides if you have chosen to deal with the things that you're wanting to clear within your life. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, there would be nothing there to trigger you.
That's right.
And Lou and I aren't immune from that. We're not saying, hey,
we've got it together, man.
Not at all. But we're recognizing what's going on here. We're recognizing it very clearly. And it's not easy.
No.
It's very challenging, but to be able to observe and step back now is really, really an important part of it. What about the distractions?
Well, absolutely. Distractions can be triggers as well, you see, because say for argument's sake, you're like me, and I'm going to be very blunt here, and Heather's probably going to begin nodding her head like this.
No, I'm not going to do anything.
I'll be on and I'll be like scrolling through something or other, or I'm playing a game or something like that. And we've spoken about maybe going and doing some meditation or walking around the property or doing something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming now. And so she goes, excuse me, I spoke to you about 5 minutes ago. Are you? And what's happening is I'm so engrossed in my distraction that I allow her to now become a trigger for me. Now I have to watch how I behave. Am I going to allow the reaction, or am I going to, actually, she's right. Put my phone down, get up and respond. I apologize. You're right. I've ignored you. Let's do what we need to do. You see, distractions can come in all manner, way, or form. Distractions can come in the fact of, no, I've got to write this poem, or I've got to do this work, or I've got to take the dogs for a walk, or I've got to go get a bottle of milk from the shops because they're about to close. Distractions will come from everywhere, and they'll come in any form whatsoever. What it is we have to look at it this way. If the distraction is not assisting you in empowering your energy, I'm going to read it off here because I really wrote it down well. If it's not assisting you to change your energy, your perception of self and the realm around you, it is not helping. It is distracting you to prolong the process and getting you to give up. Now, it may sound like I'm contradicting myself there, in as much as I go, the distractions are there to empower you. It is. If you look at it from this perspective, that the example I gave where Heather sort of comes to me and says, hey, let's do this. And I sit there and I'm scroll, doom scrolling, as they call it. And if she comes back to me and I go, and she triggers me because now my distraction has taken me on, and she's now an interruption to that. Now, my choice is this. Do I allow my distraction to control me, or do I take over and I am self-empowered enough to put that down, get up, admit that I didn't listen. I allowed my habit, my addiction, whatever, to take over and distract me. That's an empowerment. That is allowing us to grow. That's allowing us to see where we are falling, where we are failing. And I use that word very, very loosely. Okay. So
we've got a bit of a timer on because we don't want
to bore you.
Well, it's not that. We're happy to bore you, but we want to keep these segments a bit short. So I think we get it about the distraction.
Okay, so this is a distraction. Yes,
okay.
So I'm a distracting by over talking.
No, not at all. Energy rebel or energy pacifist. What are you? Are you an energy rebel or an energy pacifist? Rebels will always push the envelope because they know something better is coming and there is something wrong with the status quo, or they know that there's something not quite right with the setup that's going on around them, and they will always push the envelope to try and break through in some way, manner,
there's an
form.
imbalance.
A lot of you won't agree with this, and that's totally fine. I'm happy for you to make comments and stuff like that. And an energy pacifist will always want to calm things down, to wait it out, look for an alternative way over pushing through and overcoming. They don't want to shed the blood, sweat and tears it takes to to change issues in their lives. And maybe they're just people who, they don't want to push the envelope. They don't, and that's fine. Look, everybody's in their own little place of being and stuff like that. But at the moment, with these energy dumps coming in, you can't really ignore them. It's very challenging to ignore. And I've seen a lot of clashes with people over lots of things, multiple things over the past few weeks, months even. And it's really been mind-blowing, the amount of friction that is happening. But with the friction is change. Now, one of the things that our friend Kutumi said to us the other night is, and I've heard this before and I've felt this has been a truth, that there's much more energy of negativity in this realm at the moment, and that's been by design. Much more negativity coming in, and that's by design. And it's very challenging to deal with. And when I say by design, I'm not talking about something that is of benefit necessarily to people. So we're experiencing that as well as the energy dumps. So how does that equate? The energy dumps, I mean, you've got the energy dumps and you've got the negativity. Do you want to wind up with this? Because I think it's interesting.
Well, we have to realize that we're in a construct, okay? That everything around us there's nothing new under the sun. Let's just be honest. There's nothing new. So everything's repeated. It's cycled and recycled and recycled. So we come to a situation where we are now, where our society has elevated itself to a certain vibration, a certain way of being, okay? Technology and all the rest of it. It's all at this peaking point. And what happens with that is we open ourselves up to energy portals that can feed to us information that we're not even always aware of things that we don't need. The negativity, the dismalness, the you're right, I'm wrong, all of this sort of stuff. And it comes to us through the Wi-Fi, through the TV, through movies, through people that we talk to, because they're listening to all sorts of things and they're reading stuff, etc. So it comes through a whole chamorro of things, all right? Then we have the energy. The energy comes from what I believe, and I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe this, is when I go in my truth and I say to the universe and I say to the creator, I want to change. I want to change for the better. I want to change so that I do not have to go through this shit anymore. What that does is it opens up a doorway, a window for the divine to work through, and it will send energy shifts. And it could coincide with the magnetics of our planet. It could coincide with different sort of movements of the celestial bodies. And there are things that happen that will activate an energy in our and around us. But I've given permission for that, because I've said, I want to change. I want to change. So there's the motivation by the dump of energy that compresses and pushes me down, so that I choose to fight. I choose to push back. I choose to break through. And then, as I said at the beginning, there's also another energy dump when I'm doing that. It comes in and it embraces me. It loves me. It says, you're doing good. You're going to get through this. You're going to make it better. And sometimes it can feel like you're doing this every single friggin' day of your life. The minute you open your eyes, the minute you close them, and sometimes even in your sleep state. And it's like, when is it going to stop? You know when it stops? When you take responsibility for what's going on. When you stop trying to resist it. And you go, okay, this is it. We're doing this.
Wow.
And you take a breath and you go, I'm doing this. I'm here. I give myself permission to actually heal. And when that happens, believe me, there is an energetic crack, like you go to a chiropractor and your back gets put into place. And it's, all I can say is it's freaking awesome. And I'm speaking from personal experience with this.
Okay. Well, I'm not really quite at that stage at the moment. I can honestly say that. It's been a hell of a few days, but I'm determined to move through everything. And it's a personal reset for myself.
And myself.
And Lou's done the same, and we've done a lot of releasing through everything at the moment. But hey, we just wanted to share with you because we know there's a lot of energy sensitives out there, and those who are on the journey of not necessarily the love and light brigade, because that's love and light, but those of you who are really clear that you are energy beings in a physical meat suit or an avatar, whatever you want to call it, and that you're not really that keen to keep coming back, and you want to move through your stuff. You're probably an energy rebel like us in many ways, or you may have experienced a lot of things too that you might want to share. So just leave your comments here. Love to hear from you, and please like and share and subscribe. Okay, we'll be doing more of this. We've said it before, but now we have done our personal reset. We are going to be here.
Absolutely.
So if you're on Facebook watching here, come on over here. We're going to be doing a lot of this. Thank you very much. And any topics you want us to discuss, let us know.
Absolutely.
Have a great day, morning and evening, wherever you are. And it's going to be okay.
All right.
See you later.
Ciao, guys. All right.